I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
We came here to play basketball just like you guys.
You know what I'm thinking? 'Cause I have a guess.
Oh, a bunny. You know, the last known case of a bunny attack was, well, never.
What kind of stupid questions is that? Still a deep. What else am I going to be, an aardvark?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Animation Club School is finally back online. Haven't seen you in a while, just in a couple of days maybe. Welcome everyone to another workshop of insights and learning. I'm very happy to see some familiar faces already in the chat. How is everyone today? How do you feel? Please leave us a comment to tell what you're drinking today as well. I see that Loopy Arts is drinking water, and that's amazing. For those who are here for the first time, either in our school or on our YouTube channel, welcome. Whether you're watching this either live or in a recording, you're always welcome to stay and learn with us. Let me give you a quick rundown, a little tour of the school, you might say. My name is Kata. This is Animation Club School, an online school primarily focused on preparing specialists for the animation industry. We have courses on traditional animation, cleanup, visual development, cutout animation, and even the creation of a short film. You can check out the link below for our February 2025 courses, and of course, sign up today. Why wait? We also see a lot of value in sharing parts of our knowledge with anyone who's looking for some extra learning, whether in courses or in workshops like these. So it doesn't matter if you're a course student who's looking for some extra study material to learn from, or if you're just an animation enthusiast looking for some extra knowledge to guide you. You can sit down, pour yourself something nice and warm since it's getting a lot colder, and spend some time with us. And of course, we're gathered here for a brand new workshop that is actually connected to our school curriculum, the creation of the dynamic shot. Join our workshop with Edward Kurchevsky, a top-notch animator with projects like Scavengers Reign, Primal, and Tales of Alethrion in his experience. Today, Edward will give you the process of creating a dynamic shot. I think a very essential skill that brings energy and life to your animations, but that's not all, of course. Stay tuned until the end for the announcement of our feedback session, basically part 2 of this stream, where you will be eligible to submit a shot and get some personal feedback from Edward himself. I think it's a very rare opportunity to learn directly in a setting like this from someone who works in the industry and is considered an expert. So I wouldn't advise you to miss out on that one. And of course, everyone who watches this stream and is a part of our school, in any way, as a viewer, as a student, is of course invited to participate. So, chat, let me please give the biggest and warmest welcome to our mentor and the hero of the evening. Edward, would you like to introduce yourself to people who are meeting you for the first time and maybe talk a little bit more about what we're going to do today? Just a couple of sentences, I think will do.
Yes, hello everyone. Like Kata said, my name is Edward Kurchevsky. I'm a 2D animator and a teacher for already 7 years in Animation Club School. And today we're gonna do some dynamic movements. So in our school, this assignment called dynamic shot. So we will try to move the character in the space, in perspective, and I will explain the most important things about this exercise and about the most I would say common mistakes that people you do and yeah, and basically like Kata said already, it's this basically what we're gonna do in the course while like during 5 weeks. And yeah, so I hope this stream will be helpful for everyone, for my current students and for people who just want to improve their skills. This assignment will be not for the beginners, but you may try to do that. But yeah, in this assignment, basically you have to already show your skills in the rhythm, posing, spacing, and timing. So basically, and since it's going to be a character that moves in the space, this should be, I mean, you should already know a little bit about anatomy as well. All right, let's begin then. Or you want to add something more?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I would like to do first. First of all, I think our watchers would love to take a look at your demo reel. So if Vitaly can turn the demo reel on right now, I would appreciate it a lot.
Driving down a main street in my daddy's Chevrolet, picking you up a DQ at 6 o'clock Friday. First date, sweaty palms, feeling kinda nervous. All I see in the rearview mirror's my lip twisted tonight. George Strait song, turn up and down. Sound so perfect with your baby blue eyes. Got a flask full of JD hidden underneath the seat. Let's pull out a blanket, let's go lay down by the creek so I can get lost in the sweet tub of your lovey, lovey, lovey-dovey It's a nice cool night, we're out here with you, walking with the fireflies, girl, I can't undo me falling in love with everything you do. Let's try slowing it down and make it last all night through. George Strait song, turn up and down. Lovey, lovey, lovey-dovey.
That was absolutely amazing. Seeing it again, I'm always very much impressed. But before we actually jump into the most, interesting part, the workshop itself, I want to give a couple of reminders, my dear and lovely chat. First of all, a lot of you, most of you already know that you can ask us questions. They do have a couple of rules. They have to be mindful and polite. They have to be about animation in general, about the school, about the professional experience, anything that might fit the topic. And of course, they need to have the word question in all caps, so I wouldn't miss it. It would be a service to me, to you, and more chances that I'll actually get to read it out loud. And one more thing I have to note, you can always ask your questions, but there's a chance I might read it straight away during the stream, or I might keep it for a later time if I find that the topic of the question itself needs more time, or it's extra good, extra juicy, that it requires a bit more attention. So don't be afraid if I didn't voice your question right away. There's a big chance I'm just leaving it for a better time so we can actually go and dig into it. But if you feel that I might have missed it, you can always duplicate your question. That's absolutely all right and is definitely not prohibited. but just so you know. And I think, yeah, that's it. I'm ready to give the mic to you, Edward, and we can start the workshop.
Perfect. Let's begin then. I will share my screen and okay, I cannot optimize my video. All right. So basically you can see this. I already started. I mean, since this assignment, this kind dynamic shot is about to work with perspective. The first thing that you have to put is your perspective grid, right? With vanishing point, and I mean, I kind of put it already in this position because I used to like when I imagine some scene. Let's say it's gonna be some like a ground just with empty space here. I didn't think about some backgrounds. If you will have a background, for example, in your assignment, it will be better because you will understand already that you have some kind of space. You're not just making an assignment because everyone in the school we're trying to learn something to put some cool works in our portfolio and then to get the job, right? So like the thing that I heard from the recruiters and from people from studios that they prefer to have people who already experienced or who already worked in some projects already, and then hire them because you probably see them after some real experience, right? And people who just finish the school, basically you see the school assignments and and they don't know how much teacher like made of this assignment. So if your work like dynamic shot will in your portfolio will look like some scene from the movie, from the animation movie, it will be better because like it's going to be like representation that you can handle the shot, for example, and this is gonna look like a final product. I'm not saying about the coloring and clean. I'm just saying about the layout, about the and this feelings of this shot. So usually, again, on the course, I recommend to my student think how it would be like. Okay, if it's a shot from some sequence, but we have only one shot to do. So imagine what happened before your shot and what's gonna happen after your shot. So for example, if here we're gonna make some kind of chasing, or for example, yeah, some running or just entering some room. Okay, think what was before, just before this shot, and what's gonna be after. So we're gonna have some kind of progression in this shot, so our character will do something not just to move but with some purpose. Okay, so this is what I usually give to my students, like as a kickstart of the like to kickstart the ideas. Again, you don't have to like overcomplicate. It could be something simple but just with some idea. For example, we're gonna use this hare, bunny, rabbit. It's our mascot, let's say, of the workshops. We always use them to our workshops. He will be also our character for this one.
I
So
mean, the
basically,
design is super cute. So
exactly. Yeah. And it was made by my friend Andrei Sitari, who is also one of our mentors. So it's yeah, perfectly suitable. So basically, I put like vanishing point here because I put vanishing point from in the direction where my character will go or will come from. So basically, the direction where what he gonna move. If you have several directions, the character will move maybe a lot. You can make some of them like different vanishing points. It will help you to understand how your character will get smaller in the space. You will. It's not gonna be bad fit with the background. So basically, this summit is all about us. It's about the movement in perspective because usually people think like, oh, 2D animation, it's when the character move in 2D, like left and right, up and down, like in two-dimensional space, right? But what we're doing here in this 2D traditional animation, we actually doing the same thing as 3D animators are doing, but we're just drawing it, okay? So we have to draw volumetric character that works in the space, but it was made by hands, right? Not just like calculated by computer, right? And just rigged and moved like like a puppet. Because a 3D animation is more like a puppet, like puppet animation, but in the software, right? And 2D traditional, it's more like we're drawing it, like, right? Like we have to understand the space, understand the anatomy, understand everything. And basically our drawing skills, it's a fuel to our animation. So basically as better you draw, better you can handle it. So yeah, so basically when you already put a perspective grid, because you kind of already understand your composition. Also, I recommend to use a camera when you for example, if you work in TV Paint, when you create a new shot, a new project, for example here, always try to, always click here, project with camera. So basically you put here your initial camera resolution, and here you just can make like 120 degrees, and then it's going to be just like 20 degrees plus 20 percentage plus to your camera, and you're gonna have it just these borders that's gonna have you like a safe spot. This is very important as well. Okay, so I didn't calculate it, so I will make it smaller. So I put it here because this is like one of the main composition points. If you just break your screen on this like 3 sections, 9 sections, but 3 by 3. So basically, this you can see that is kind of composition like centric points. So it's very appealing, let's say, for our eye. So I just put it here, and then when I already did that, I import my character, because when you're gonna do this exercise, you have to choose your character, choose your champion. So basically, here I want to have this rabbit, and here when I just imagine, okay, so what I'm gonna do, I have to find his position. I will put him here, and this position, it's his size in the most close placement of the screen. So he will not come closer than this position. So okay, I just have to mark it. So the feet, the center of the feet is here, and the top, his height is here, right? So basically what I have to do, I have to make 2 lines that goes through his head top position and through his legs top position. So basically this is his size, right? This is his like height of the in the perspective. And basically when he will just go in space, he'll be just like this. He will get smaller, 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 like this, you see? If he will just come from the far, right? So it's gonna, this like measurements, this gonna help me to not get lost in sizes, like to not make him too big or too small. All right. So so basically, when I have this, I can go and put the character already in the position where he will start his movement. All right. So I will make another layer. I will put what you see, this is a guideline. This is a very cool tool in TVPaint 10 when you can import an image, and it will be not in the layer, in the timeline. It's gonna be just in a specific position, like it's called guideline, and I can just like rotate. I can flip, and it's super useful, and it's never gets it's never reduce quality when you move, because usually if you import something and you move, you just reduce every time, then you move, then you transform, just get pixelated, etc., etc. So this is like very, very useful tool, and I can like switch on, switch off very easily. All right, let me put my character somewhere in the space. I will try to do what could be the possible to make in like 1 hour half, because I'm not sure if you will if your brain will register something more than that. So I will try to be efficient. Yes, 11 and a half. So boom. Okay, just let's assume that it's our placement. So basically, I want to start my character from here. Okay, so let me draw him. Okay, I like the pose, but maybe I will make him like putting his 2 hands in the pockets, maybe. Oh, it's very pixelated, you see, right? If it's the case, I recommend you just increase. If it's not crucial, I recommend you to increase your project size. It's not a criminal, so you can do that if you're doing for yourself, and then you will export in full HD if you want. So help me to calculate like in twice. Okay, 3. What's 4K? It's like 3, 8, 40, I guess. I think I'm very bad with math, but let's hope.
We have a very good comment from Loopy Arts about knowing perspective. If anything, when doing 2D animation, you need a better understanding of a 3D space. Even when you learn drawing itself, you learn the volume of the 3D shapes and space when of drawing, like photography. I
Yeah,
agree. To be
exactly.
able to realistically produce something in the 2D space, you need to understand how the 3D space works.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So basically, I will just very quickly redraw. So I recommend everyone who just pick a character and already did all these measurements and create an idea what this character will do. When you will put him in, when you're gonna start animating, please always try to put at least one drawing in model, like I'm doing here, just to begin with, and then simplify it to make it just construction, just structure. You don't need, because many students, they try to be very, how to say, they're trying to draw beautifully, they try to draw like directly, like I will try to put all details on my character because I like it's so cool, it's so like rewarding. I see my character already like looking beautifully and not just a puppet, so it's so cool. But you're spending so much time, and then I'm very sorry when I need to correct everything and say, hey, do it again because it doesn't work. You have to make it differently, because the pose or the movement doesn't work, and you spend just like, I don't know, like how much, 20 minutes maybe to draw maybe more to draw the character perfectly. So it's just waste of time. And here we're trying to be efficient. We animation is super long. It takes a lot of time. And if you really want to be a top animator, you have to be fast and efficient. We have to be we have to be accurate, of course. But first of all, you have to understand that when you're doing first path, damn it, you have to make it fast, and I already know that you're doing good animation, good movement, right? And then go only to the details with different passes, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. I think on like we had the same conversation with Tamas Pasmani. If you haven't seen, we recently had a graduation stream where we invite a professional because our top grade like graded students, they basically get a reward from extra review of their demo reel from the feedback from the industry. And he said a very interesting thing that he spends on his rough animation more time than he does on tie down, because when he's rough and he doesn't use like a lot of time to draw the characters very beautifully, he has more time to experiment, to try different
yeah,
movements, to try different rhythms, to see what works and what doesn't work. And he said a very interesting thing that I kind of now will I probably remember for a lot of time, that if your rough stage is already, I won't say perfect because it's never perfect because we're artists. It doesn't work like that with us. But when everything is measured as much as you can and, timed out, and you like everything about the movement, the idea of the movement, once you're going to go into the tie down stage or something more detailed, you won't have to go back and redraw as much. So,
yeah,
and I think that's very good.
yeah. I mean, every animator creates its own path, like path of the ninja.
Exactly.
So for example, for me, I do like very rough pass, and then when I do another pass, like precising volumes, just like arcs flipping around, I just correct like simultaneously when I just doing I never just jumping directly from rough to tie down. I just okay, rough, but then rough with more precise volumes, rough with more precise shapes, more precise like shapes in the shapes. Then right when you go over like again and again and again, and every time when you go, you basically polish it, right? And just yeah. Okay. So one arm is here, another arm will be like here to have a good silhouette. Maybe too high. Right, and choose. If my students are here, I want to say hi to my mom. No, I want to say hi to them.
Tell us in the chat, actually, if
Yeah.
you are a student of the school or if you are just, I mean, as I said, an animation enthusiast looking for some extra knowledge. And it's actually really easy to become the student. You just need to go to the description, look for February 2025 courses, sign up for something, and once you go back to this stream, you will be already part of the school.
So we're gonna
Magic.
have insanely cool course about cleanup.
Yeah. A couple of streams ago, actually, we had Christian Mimo, I think.
Yeah.
I just don't remember the last name.
Yeah.
Actually, an amazing cleanup artist that worked on many things. I can only recall Klaus right now. He did
Space
a
Jam.
very Space
Space
Jam,
Jam.
yeah, exactly. The New Odyssey, the second part of it. And he did a very, very cool demo that you can also find on the stream. He talks
Yeah.
about he took work of one of our students from I think also from the second course. The exercise is called lifting weights, and they had a character from Sinbad, and basically Christian went and told about his kind of pipeline, his process, about how he takes like a shot from either rough or like a tie down stage, what he looks to improve in it, if an improvement is necessary, and how he keeps track of everything. And it's really, really interesting.
Yeah. And basically, sometimes cleanup is your fast way if you have already like pretty good drawing skills. It's a fast ticket to the industry, let's say, because you don't have to learn how to move things. You just have to I mean, it's not easy, of course. Have to learn how to make the character looks beautiful,
Mhm.
because cleanup is so important, because cleanup artists can amplify your animation or can just ruin it, just
Mhm.
because it's their lines stays in the screen, on the screen. It's not yours. Your line will just, it's gonna be gone, just disappear, like only shadow of your soul gonna remain in
Remain.
this in this drawing.
Only a ghost remains. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually true. It was a very good quote. I think it from also was also included in one of our videos on the channel, that the cleanup artist is the only like the single artist who has the privilege of their drawings actually being in the final product. All of the
yeah,
other animators, they create the movement, they like plan it out, but it's the cleanup artist who
yeah,
can take the credit for that's my drawing right there.
yeah.
So
It's like a puppeteers who just did the movement, but nobody saw them.
exactly. And it requires a lot of technical precision as well. You still need
Yeah,
to know how to draw very, very well to know the arc, timing, and spacing, especially in the small or very nuanced movements, because sometimes. Christian also talked about this. Sometimes artists, the rough and tie-down artists, but usually when they like the cleanup artists get the rough animation and they have to do the tie-down as well, they will receive an animation where the lines are so thick that sometimes drawing a thinner line, just like, a millimeter one way or the other, will also be affecting the final spacing as well. So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, exactly.
exactly. The spacing can be ruined, and just especially like subtle things, just it's basically
Yeah.
you're making a full revision of animation. And it's little bit a little bit look like, this how to say, people who restore the old paintings. Sometimes
Oh,
just
yeah,
sometimes
restoration.
sometimes they make, for example, the painting can be broken, right, and they have to like mimic the style of the artist and draw
Exactly.
instead of them in this piece to make it the same. So sometimes you basically like, oh, this animation is so rough, I need to make it clean. Oh my God. So basically, you basically like you have to preserve all these details and information that animator put inside it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly, that's why I'm saying it's very difficult, but still, it's still the fastest ticket to animation, I still think.
Ooh, and I see in the chat we have some first class students here. Welcome. Very happy to see you.
Ooh, show
Uh,
me the name. Give me the name. I'm just kidding. Welcome.
uh, welcome, but you can always leave at least your first name or maybe an animation you're currently working on so we can recognize you. We also have
Give me
some
your
cool
name. I will give you.
comments.
I will give you I don't,
High five in the
high
class,
scores.
yeah.
High scores to your next assignment.
Oh, a high score? That's a bigger reward. I was just looking for a
No,
high
no, no.
five.
I'm just, like I become this type of teacher who just forced students read all the books that I wrote, read all the streams that I did. No, I'm
Oh
kidding,
yeah, show
guys.
up to this lecture and you're gonna get like an automatic A
Yeah.
plus.
If you want to appear, I'll not give you a diploma, like something. I'm kidding,
We have
guys.
some different
Completely.
comments from Loopy Arts that the cleanup artists are the unsung heroes in the animation process. And I agree. They are, I would say, a bit underappreciated. But
Yeah,
thankfully, now they're getting a lot more attention. I think it's nothing compared to the old Disney ink and color department, where people didn't even know that it existed for a
yeah,
while.
that's true.
Only if you really knew about animation, you knew about you know, the ink and color. So, and Musty Milkshake, I love the nickname though, says that cleanup is actually my favorite stage, which I a bit have to agree. It is, there is a sense of fun in it that you come in and do these technical adjustments. It's a very technical job in itself, though it still requires a lot of thinking and a lot of creativity.
That's true.
And Musty Milkshake again says that, oh, extra credit for watching streams. Sign me up. I think we actually might implement it now.
It's
Well, I
gonna
mean,
be
you're not only
extra
getting
extra 5 minutes of the retakes, like, like on the on the course.
Okay, here we go. But actually, I think you're not only getting that extra credit. I wanted to talk a bit about that. You've probably noticed in the name of the stream. I think it's called part one of the dynamic shot. And usually
Yeah.
in part two, we have a feedback session. And it's primarily based on the works you are going to send us. So I wanted to focus a little bit on that. Basically, if you go into the description, you can find the links to our courses, to the Discord channel, to the social medias, but also you can find the rules for the submissions. Next time, we're going to meet on 3rd of January, 2025 already. We are going to look at your submissions. There are several rules you have to complete. Some of them are, thematic, what do you have to submit? And some of them are just, correct naming conventions. So, if everyone is okay, I have the rules open, so I would like to go about them one by one. And if you have any extra questions or you want to clarify something, this is the perfect time to ask that question. So we have several rules. Specifically, they're created so it would be challenging enough for you and easy for us to understand what your initial goal was and to, of course, give you feedback. First of all, and I think it's the most important rule, you must submit a dynamic shot. So it has to be a shot where one character moves in perspectives. It must be about 3 or less seconds long, given that you'll have like an extra second before and after just to get our brain used to what's happening on the screen. And of course, you can submit shots that are in the rough stage of production. Preferably, you have to pick an existing character. So there will be enough references to keep it on model, and there will be enough, references for us in turn to check how much on model are you. The formats, we're a bit more open with this. It could be in TV Paint, it could be in MOV, it could be in MP4. I've also included in the rules a very good converter. So if you have files that are not these three, you can always convert them and submit them to us. In the rules, there is a special little folder called submission box where you will upload your submissions. So please remember, no extra links in the DMs and stuff like that. You have a place to submit them, though no one actually did it any other way. So, but I'm just clarifying for you. And of course, you have to submit one file with the correct name in it. It has to consist of your name, so we'll know who we're referencing and, who we're talking with. And it also has to be, the name of the character you're animating. So we'll actually know how to refer to the character as well while talking to it, except for, using the word character, which might get a little boring in a while. And of course, there is a deadline, and the deadline is going to be on the 2nd of January at 5 UTC, which is about the same time as we started the stream. So you have more or less an idea when you have to submit it. We just need some extra time to download it, to be able to, upload it whenever we need to, and have enough time to actually have a little look at it. So, not a lot of rules. You're pretty open in this challenge, I think, compared to the previous ones we had, but it's still a very tough challenge. So I'm advising you to prepare yourself properly. And also, there is a link in our chat with the submission rules popping up just right now. So either you're watching this live in a recording, there should be a fresh link ready for you right here. Also, I see a comment from Loopy Arts that Edward is so quick when drawing the frames for the rabbit. It's amazing to see. I agree. Rapid, you might say.
Basically, I'm doing the first pass. Just because I didn't make a research for some references, nothing, just had an idea in my head, pick a character and just making the movement. So we're gonna explore it now. That's why you see these drawings are so basic, just to see how it moves. I'm not sure if it's gonna be better than that actually, because we don't have time to make it pretty, but you will understand the process of it.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a
I
sec. I
think
will open.
understanding the mindset is and the workshop is a lot better in a lot of senses. And while we're still here, if you have any questions about what to include in your dynamic shot, or maybe some questions about like the challenge itself and the stream today, you can always ask them in the chat. We already had a question I've seen, but I compiled it for later so I can ask it closer to the end. And actually, while we're here, I wanted to go for a little segue. I wanted to remind you again that we not only share our knowledge here in workshops and feedback sessions, but we also have for quality feedback focused courses on traditional animation, on cleanup, on visual development, cutout animation, even on the creation of a short film in and itself. Actually, you can check the latest film that got released on our YouTube channel, and we have another one that's really, really good. And right now it's in the works, and I can't wait for the release. I think you'll have a blast with it as well. So, if you thought about starting your animation journey or perfect an existing craft you already have, I think, in the right place to do it right now. I also think that online courses offer a lot of flexibility in terms of your time and space and how you learn. So, getting personalized feedback as well is very important to tackle your specific issues, your strengths, and your weaknesses. So, you can basically excel the way your heart calls for it, which I think is very, very important. You can go into the description and check the courses right now and, sign up today. The course will be starting on February 2025, but there's no need to wait that long. You can become a future student of the school today. And actually, I always like to put it that thankfully right now, the YouTube's UI allows to stop and start the stream whenever you want to. So you don't even have to wait till the end of the stream to sign up. You can just click on pause and come back to us as a student. As I said, magic. So hopefully we'll get to see you in class next year after we're going to have a fun winter break.
So basically now you can see that I just forget about my timing. For now, I want to concentrate on spacing only. I think I'm sharing a sound. Do I? No. Okay, so here, I think I will move it here actually. Yeah, I will do it this way. So basically, yeah, always try to, for example, look, I'm doing anticipation right here, but I'm already moving towards my future direction. For example, me personally, I don't like anticipation, Looney Tunes style, like cartoony style, when the character goes behind, then to move forward. Like okay, I want to go there, so I will go back and then go like speed up, right? Mm, so it's little bit for me an unnecessary movement backward, right? So I prefer to move forward instead. So basically, you're gonna just make your arcs smoother, and it's not gonna take more time to because every direction change actually it's 3 frames, so it's just better to go forward. Mm-hmm. So here you can see also that I'm trying to already look for some cool poses with cool because this exercise actually is also about the developing poses, practicing with making cool poses, like to make it in volume. You can see, for example, I just draw very basic forms for the hands, but I draw them in the space, like looking forward towards the camera, fingers, for example, or in different directions. Also, by when you this is important in this exercise, students need to how to say in one side be very creative and focused and gets this feeling of movement from inside, but in another way, like be focused and relax in terms of how I gonna draw it. Okay, your drawing's not gonna be perfect here. It's not about that. It's just especially when the how to say the bigger movement is, messier drawings are, at least for me, because I concentrate on the movement at first, and then only I will just precise the drawings. And always my also suggestion, always until the final tie down, until the cleanup, I mean draw always on one layer. For example, when you're just gonna make a rough like this, and then your next step, you're gonna just precise it. Okay, duplicate the layer, keep this layer in case, and just start to working on top. To make it more precise, but the same layer. Just erase and make corrections. If you're gonna create a new layer with the same timing, you will have too big temptation to make it already more beautiful. No, okay, it's a new layer. Now I can do it perfectly. I can do it correct. No, this is wrong. You're gonna spend too much time on, I mean, and making transition from rough to the tie down. It is too early. You have to just precise some volumes, only that. So that's why for this, please don't make a layer and don't make a tie down. You have to work on the same layer to avoid that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you're, especially in the stages of doing everything rough, I'm sorry if you can hear crunching in the background. My dog decided to eat right
It's
nearby
fine,
the
don't worry.
camera. Uh, when you have a bunch of layers and you're in the process of like reviewing something and changing some stuff, when you have to jump across multiple layers that have their own, timelines and frames, and sometimes they would not like sync if you're doing, some special frames and stuff, it could be very hard to, keep track of everything. So keeping it on one layer, it just makes it easier for you
But
to be
but
able to edit
only
it.
also, if you remember, I mean, you will not remember, but if you maybe imagine how people used to draw on paper, right? Animation. They didn't have many layers, and you can
Yeah,
see
exactly.
their animations on paper, for example, like line yeah, it's called line art, I guess. Um, it's basically it's very beautiful. It's very like very solid, and I'm pretty sure they were just doing it on this paper from the scratch. They didn't have layers, so it's not possible. Just make a first pass, then it's precise and precise and precise until the tie down, and then boom, you go to the cleanup, and then just redraw it. They will redraw it on new paper, on new layer, let's say.
Mhm.
Well, it's not only because like I think this is right. No, it's just because it's gonna save you a lot of time and yeah, and efforts. Because when you redraw it from the scratch over and over, you basically is spending more time to make it pretty and then correct it if there is mistakes.
Well, we're here. Actually, I think this is a good time to ask some of the questions we got piled up. First question I wanted to ask comes from Thielman, which is more about drawing skills in general. How to start studying anatomy? Which channels do you recommend? Or
How about
maybe
Discord channel?
specific ways? Exactly. And here we have another segue. Yeah. I will speak a little bit more about this because there are a couple of opinions I have as well. I think the best way to study anatomy is, first of all, theory, just, learning what kind of muscles you have in general. And second is life drawing. Uh, Best life drawing, I think, comes from drawing someone like physically. You can ask your friends, relatives to post for you, but you can also go to, for example, a local art club, which would host something like this. But if,
Yeah.
happens that you don't have any clubs nearby or you're too shy to ask any of your relatives or friends to post for you, you can always come to our Discord channel. And on Sundays, actually, in 2 days, we're going to have Sunday sessions. Every Sunday, we gather together to basically have life drawing. We try to combine a lot of interesting stuff. Recently, we've hit kind of a new category of life drawing, which is when we study movements. We take some very interesting movements. Either I find something on TikTok or YouTube, for example, someone doing yoga, or maybe swimming with a mermaid tail, or jumping, and we basically study the motion. Sometimes we would do just regular figure drawing where we have a bit more time to study one pose specifically. Sometimes we would do expressions or specific body parts, but we always try to include a little bit of theory and a lot of practice. And I think, yeah, just to start studying anatomy, you have to just draw it. One other way I've learned, which is a good way to study anatomy, is to make anatomical copies. It's basically the same way of, learning what kind of muscles you have. Once you draw them, for 6 hours, like one specific muscle map, it at least gets a little bit into your memory. But of course, everything comes down to practice.
Yeah. I used to a long time ago, I remember myself asking myself, like, is it possible to learn how body looks like, I mean, and moves, for example, because it's not only about to learn the muscles, it's also remembering how they actually move, because they when you move your body, muscles actually, how to say, I don't know in English, they stretch and squash, right? So they change,
Yeah.
make changes. And it's also about that, and it was insane. But only with practice, you get basically your brain just scan it, and keep this information like scanned, let's say, like in your head. And when you draw and when you feel like when you really feel the pose, you already know, okay, where to push the muscles to make it more like, yes, this is working. I mean, this part of muscles just like really in job.
Exactly. So that's why we actually started to study movements, because it was not only interesting to study anatomy of itself, but also to understand how mass works. For example, how the center of mass in our bodies affects how we move, how we
Yeah.
transfer it, and also, yeah, body mechanic as a whole. Which muscles will contract, which muscles will relax when we want to do something, because all of it, all of the understandings of this human anatomy is, of course, very easily translatable to, cartoon characters. So knowing how the body
Yeah.
moves, even the realistic settings, allows you to have a lot more power and freedom for creativity when you're going for more cartoon-based characters, which might not have all of the muscles and the proportions, of a realistic person, but they would have the same rules and physics they apply to. So.
Yeah, the bones and just volume, directions, working with perspective. Even for example, when some character like cartoony character from, I don't know, Adventure Time, for example,
Mhm.
make some for example, they don't have elbows, but if you will do some kind of pose like this, for example, my arm goes toward the camera, you need to bend it somewhere, right? So you cannot bend it just like randomly. You have to still understand the proportions and the volume and everything. So yeah, everything's connected, and when you learn when you learn anatomy, you immediately kind of understand more about poses, how to make them better, and because everything is connected.
Yeah. So hopefully we answered the question to the fullest of our abilities and it satisfied you. We have one more question, actually, from our first course student that asked to address her as Kate. Can you recommend the best way of using references for dynamic animation? How do you
Best
search
way,
for references? Yeah. How do you apply them?
sometimes I record myself. For example, even for this type, for example, of animation, I can just record myself and to see how I would work in this pose, for example, how my body will twist, etc. So this is one way to learn from reference. Basically, you learn the pose and learn how it works. Because basically, what I'm doing here, I'm just doing it from my memory. Like, and I I'm pretty sure that sometimes it doesn't work, especially when you do something like complicated as this. For example, I don't like how these lines they aligned to each other, but to make it, have to spend more time, or I can just stay in this pose and see, oh, okay, this arm actually goes in the perspective, so I can just, make it like, directly there, for example, because my one of my shoulders here, one of the shoulders here, and actually it's gonna go this way. So cool, right? I don't need to search. I can just, like do it right away because I see it on already on the picture, right? On the photo, the video. Another thing also, when for example he jumps like here, I can do it also, and of course maybe I will be not in this pose like super stretched, etc., but still I will understand how my body actually behaves and the twisting of the body, etc. So yeah, this I would really recommend you to take a references or watch like anime. There is, for example, website Sakuga Boru. I'm not sure how it's Sakuga. I think
Boru.
yeah, Boru, like this. No, I don't remember. But if you're just gonna do that, there is something in the end. But if you're gonna just put this, you will get there. And this is a huge archive of the references. and there is a lot of from Japan, because Sakuga is just like key animation in Japan, I guess, or
Mhm.
cool. In here in Europe, if you say Sakuga, it's just something like badass. So yeah, and you can study. You can maybe like learn something from it, or just keep it for your visual library. When you're gonna make some shots, you will just kind of review it, and it's gonna inspire you as well. So yeah. So references. What can I also say about that more? Yeah, when I do reference, basically I see all my arcs of my body, and it immediately shows me the keys and sometimes breakdowns, because breakdowns it's all about desynchronization, overlaps, etc. So I already see what's the keys and what the breakdowns. So the secondary frames.
Yeah, thank you, Musty Milkshake. They shared the right way to write Sakugaboro. So
Thank you so
you can
much.
basically copy it, Google it, and you'll find what you need. And it's a very cool site, though it has a very interesting, like robust system for searching. So you
It's
have to get used to that a little
yeah,
bit, but it's
it's very
possible.
difficult. Yeah.
I also recommend there's if you're using Google Chrome or any browser based on Google Chrome, they have an add-on, I think, which is called, I think, Sakugaboru. Uh,
Player?
like something I forgot the exact name. I'll post it later on the Discord. But basically, what it does is when you enter Sakugaboro, you see the still shots from the animation. To see the whole animation, you need to click on it, wait for the page to load, and then watch it. And this add-on basically allows you to hover over the animation with your mouse, and it'll replay it without, opening a second window. So it would be easier when you need to look through like 50 different animations, so you wouldn't have to open, every single one in the new tab. Really speeds up the process sometimes. It's more of a quality of life thing. You don't have to use it. Sakugaboro is perfectly usable as is, but it helped me. So yeah, thank you for asking the question. It was really nice to get in depth on it. Also, reminding everyone that your question can also be answered if you put it in the chat. Put the word question in all caps before typing it out, so I wouldn't miss it. And would be glad to. I want to say glappy, something between glad and happy, to answer them.
Nice. I would be super glappy.
Glappy. Oh no, I might actually use that word now. Also, if you're a student of the school, tell us which is your favorite exercise you've encountered in the curriculum, whether you're from the first course, second, maybe we have some people from the third one. Which ones did you find the most interesting for yourself, and which ones made you struggle the most? Because I talked to some of the students who were in the same class as me and later, and I found for myself that doing the walk cycle, the very technical assignment, was very kind of challenging for me personally, though I want to try doing it again. But the dynamic shot felt really, really liberating because you could do whatever you want to do, and you could play with the perspective and the angles and everything, just go all out. While other people said that the walk cycle was the most comforting for them because it's so technical and you basically have like a full instruction of what you should do to make it work. And the dynamic shot, for example, felt that there were like so many possibilities they could do. It would get them a little bit lost. Some people like the assignment where you have to take a character and make them pull the weight. For example, like a very heavy box or a rock, for example, just because the movement itself felt very, very satisfying. So I would love to hear that from you as well. And I mean, if you're not a student of the school or you just like animation in general and came here to learn something new, you can always share what kind of animation you like doing most, because I would also love to read that as well. Oh, and we have a question from Loopy Arts. Do we need for a homework assignment to be tied down, or can we keep the first and second pass of the animation? I think
Yeah,
in the rules, yeah.
you have to have at least one drawing in tie down, like a model,
Mhm.
like I do in the beginning. But everything else, I think, yeah, can be rough.
Mhm. Yeah. In the rules, it states that you can submit shots that are in the rough stage, but
Yeah.
preferably, yeah, if you have one frame that is a little bit like cleaned up, so be able to see the proportions of the character well enough and the intention you have with the shot, that would be very beneficial just for the better understanding of it.
I think he will punch someone. This rabbit gets angry.
The camera.
The camera, yeah. We'll see him.
Mhm. Oh, Musty Milkshake, I've just noticed that your avatar is a cow as well. That makes sense. Currently working on a lip sync character acting practice animation. Very
Oh,
good.
it's if you're from school, it's supposed to be Danya or Simon.
Are we right? Did we clock you?
Yeah. Yeah,
And Loopy
actually,
Arts is, oh yeah.
yeah, actually, I wanted to make this exercise, I mean, this assignment here on the workshop, because uh, many students just, maybe didn't fully understand from the course, I mean, from the lecture, like initial lecture, what they should do.
Mhm.
So basically, I'm here explaining the process, what they should do exactly in what steps.
Getting epic. I like when the characters react to the camera or interact with it some way, breaking it, shaking it. Like we had on the previous stream with the graduates, there was a very cute animation with Mep from Wolfwalkers, where she just run around with the wolf, gets like thrown, thrashed, and by the end she's like goes very angry and just shakes the camera and yells into it, and the camera shakes as well, and I found it really, really cute.
Else maybe it will be that angry. Like,
And Loopy
oh,
Arts is saying, thank you for answering my question. I'll keep that in mind. So one frame in tied down at least. That is correct. Yeah, that's a very, very angry expression. What did we do to him?
we will see. But maybe this arm also will be in fire already.
We're going all out.
Yeah, no, like why we should hold ourselves from being epic? Have no reason.
Exactly. Rule of cool, basically.
If you start it, do it like fully. Now he will do something tricky. This arm and leg is right, so this right should be here. So you see, basically, I'm trying to draw him as volumetric as possible.
And as
Like
cool as
it is,
possible too, with a whole spin.
yeah, and you know, to spin him in different directions. This is like his soles. This is from from above. I'm not sure if it makes sense, but we'll see.
Muslim Milkshake is saying he's angry because he doesn't like being recorded secretly. Yeah. Or maybe we took his like the last carrot from the fridge and we didn't replace it.
He was quite neutral here.
He looks like frustrated as of already. Maybe he's prepping
Maybe I should
a silent
maybe I should
attacker.
change something. Maybe I should do
And we
this.
got a message from our student. First class was pretty basic, but I had fun making the punch animation. I made it in perspective with a human-like character. So animating was tough, but hopefully it was very rewarding for my skills.
It needs to be higher.
That's good to know. I think the first
Um,
class, I think, is more about the fundamentals, just to get all of your knowledge kind of in one system. And on the second and the third one, you're more building on those foundations you've initially established. So if you have already been drawing, the first class, the beginning of it, might be easy, but I think what is great about having these like open-ended exercises that you can set the difficulty according to your skills. If you're feeling more confident, you can try something more complicated or maybe with a design that's a little bit more complex. And if you feel that you want to have an easier time, you can do that as well. But you're still focusing, on your fundamentals and those basic rules, anyways. So you have the opportunity to learn regardless. Oh wow, the camera is not only getting burned, it's getting not only getting hit, but it's getting burned, like singed.
um,
There's nothing gonna be left.
yeah, we have to finish somehow, right? So let it burn. All right, let me see. So basically now, you see my animation is without any timing. Basically everything now is just half a second, right? It's too fast. What we have to do next is just to, and basically you can see there is a movement in space. So this assignment is I would say alleged to this assignment, because usually I'm not fan of making air movements for this assignment, because we don't see exactly the perspective, right, of the movement. But since I did here already, so I said why not. Mm, So basically, always remember that we start animation with, if it's not direct continuation of movement from the previous shot, we have to have some kind of still, like hold. Otherwise, our brain will not catch first information from the shot. So imagining that he like looking somewhere. Okay, let's make it like here. He's staying like being a little bit angry, or maybe suspicious, and then boom, he saw something. Maybe from above.
He realized he's being recorded.
Like, oh my God, paparazzi!
Stop,
Like, and then,
mom, turn it off.
yeah, and
Though
then,
who does that to their mom? Only
he
if a mom is a
runs.
very cool anime character as well. Sorry.
It's like from Dan Dan. This like a grandma.
E
Have you watched it? Have you watched or not?
I watched a little bit, but
Yeah, there is really cool grandma in this series.
yeah, she can take a
Okay,
punch.
so here we have to change their directions. So it's also slower here because he slides down. Here we have anticipation, so it's also a kinda slow movement. Here we have, yeah, direction change. So always 3 frames, like one, two, no, three. It's 1, 2. It depends. It's like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I would say this one, 1, 2, 3. And then here again, especially here, this starts like slow motion. It's gonna be already fast, and then several frames maybe of special effects, just like camera passing, and then black passed away. Okay, let me see. Okay, there is no camera movement as well, and I think this movement will be even slower, like real slow motion. Let me watch without camera first. I think we need like one more drawing maybe here. Because it's too fast. Maybe how this all become. So basically, animation has okay timing right now, but we need to move the camera because the character going too much. So I want to make him to be followed by camera. So basically, he goes to the left and then up and down. Okay, so basically, my camera will do this type of movements: left, up, and down. So you can see like left, up, and down. And now I have to make a proper timing of the camera because in T-Paint the camera is a little bit, you know, different. Let's put in this word. Here in the beginning we start a little bit later, so the camera, here we have less movement. This camera is not moving at all. So basically, if it's horizontal, it doesn't move. If it's go vertical, because it's position transformation, it change. So this is time. Horizontal is time. Vertical is position. So here we go to the left. Then we pause. So you see another horizontal position. Then go to the top. So if it's more narrow, more like going up straight, it's faster then. Should be actually higher, even more. And then another hold.
When I only started using TV Paint, the camera has been a topic of my headaches for a little bit. But then I realized that it's actually very intuitive in terms of how you want it to move with your character and everything. And now I'm kind of sad that other programs don't have these camera controls.
Yeah. And here we can actually make some shaking of the camera like this. Like up and down, up and down. Yeah. Let me see. So basically, yeah. And but why? Why he's doing such a things? Let me explain. What he saw there? He saw someone is actually shooting at him.
Ooh.
We don't know who. It's mystery.
Well, now the reaction is completely justified.
Yeah. And now, boom. Here we have some explosions. Boom. So if you add something else to your animation, like explosions or interaction with the backgrounds. It always makes it more believable and cool, of course. We all came here to make something cool. Am I right?
Exactly. 100%.
Basically, some hole already. It's shrinking apart. Wait, not shrinking. Apart. This is X. This is a hole. And I just gonna add several drawings. It's gonna be very, very fast. So basically, about special effects, you always have to keep movement of the forms and also make asymmetrical forms and make it interesting and yeah, like keep the volume. I mean, not the volume. Keep the directions, and the volume should also like keep progressing, evolving, and make feeling that it's like logical. You were in a special effects course, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've went through it. Didn't get to clean up a lot of the animations, but I've learned a lot after
Yeah.
it. I think I leveled up pretty much. And
Cool.
we currently don't have a special effects course, but maybe in the future. But
Yeah.
we have some interesting live demos from Slava Lightsoul, who worked on such projects as Into the Spider-Verse, which is, pretty cool. And I think he gave a
The
live demo
Witcher.
about creating, yeah, and The Witcher as well, about creating, I think, a lighting animation. But he talks in depth about like the how to approach effects animation as well. So you can take a look at it. I think you can find it in our live tab. I think it was, I don't know, about like more than half a year ago. So you'll scroll a little bit
Yeah.
down, but while you're scrolling, you can find a couple of interesting lives as well. We did a bunch of very interesting streams recently.
Again, I was not working on the model at all here, so he is not himself yet. Yeah, but it's just gonna take us more several hours. We don't have them.
Yeah.
So let me check. So maybe let me precise his outfit a little bit more, maybe, and forms. So as I mentioned, I just gonna keep the same layer. And just create a duplicate, and boom, I basically unlock it, and I forget about that for now, and just start to work on this um, yeah, on the keys right first. So basically, this was my first key. I also use marks. You see this like red frames. I basically mark them, and now I can just flip a bit, on them. I can skip every other frame. Only marks can I can use for that. If you're using TV Paint, it's a very useful tool. It's called image marks set, so you can assign to whatever shortcut you prefer. and delete it, it's like Shift K. For me, it's image marks clear, and jump on them, it's image marks previous, image marks next. So it's a powerful tool to select only the frames that you really need, and then you just put them more in model, and yeah, you can check your consistency. I usually yeah, I'd select the keys, because basically it's the most changed poses. So for example, real quickly, okay, so this pose, for example, this pose holds like for 8 frames, so it's quite a lot. So this place worth precising, for example. We still have around like 20 minutes left. So let's make
More or
it,
less. Yep.
yeah, let's make it a little bit more beautiful.
No, Kate. That stream is also very, very interesting. About the creation of the Witcher tribute. I think that one, the one I was talking about
For Netflix, it's
with
for
Light Soul.
yeah, Light Soul. It's for Netflix. It's all about the mermaids. I don't remember the name of the feature film.
Yeah, I don't remember as well. But that's a different thing.
Yeah,
Let me actually,
the short
well, we still have
short
some
one,
time.
like a teaser. It's I was directing it. It's basically it's my project, like a fun teaser. But what Light Soul was working is, yeah, you can Google it for better naming.
Yeah, and I'll find the name of the live that I was talking about creating electricity.
Yeah.
Musty Milkshake is saying, I used to think tracing your model sheet was considered cheating. What a fool I've been.
Yeah, no, no,
We've
no.
all been there.
No, no, you have to use all tools that you have that's available to you to be consistent and to learn. No, just to produce consistent animation, consistent drawings. This is everyone is doing. That's why model sheets actually were made.
Yeah, exactly. I still remember how you talked about while you were working on Scavengers Reign, how you collected Asha's.
It's not me. It's Francisco did. Our
Ah,
stream
I'm
is
sorry.
Francisco. Yeah, I mean, I did
Yeah.
the same, but he just put it in words.
Yeah, exactly. How basically throughout the show, if they have an approved camera angle of the character, they collected it and put it in a special folder.
Like
So next
visual.
time, if there's a similar camera angle, they could just use already an approved ready frame to not track all of the little nuances. And
Yeah, basically
I
it was
found, yeah.
they built a visual library from the frames that artist was doing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Learned the hard
I'm
way.
sorry. I
No, you're good.
I stopped you.
I was just looking for it and I found it. It was buried a little bit over the 5 Minute Friday streams, so I figured it would get a little bit lost. The stream with Lightsoul is called 2D Effects Basics, Animating Electricity. So you can check it out. Oh, and it was streamed almost like a year ago. Wow, time flies. Man, we had so many interesting things. Just looking back through all of the lives we had, there's like a lot of very interesting stuff. For example, we had a one that was very interesting that I really, really loved that was called Lip Sync Secrets that you can also watch. Plus, I don't remember who exactly, but someone said that they're doing a lip sync animation exercise, which you should definitely check out. It's definitely right up your alley. And we have also with the rabbit, we had a stream called Timing and Type Charts, which also used the rabbit model and talks a little bit more about timing and how to accurately, implement it into your animation. So also be sure to check it out.
So basically, you see, I'm not redrawing. I mean, I'm not doing another layer. I don't need to draw the whole drawing again. I'm just precising some things that I need for now, just to see if it's working. For example, now I'm just picking some frames, for example, like keys, for example, and checking if the head is all right. If you see the volume of the head, I don't need to make it perfect. I just did it like more precise, just to see if it's working. Um, if I would go directly to the tie down here, I would maybe miss something. Like for example, like Thomas maybe like I said, for example, you have to be explore how to say explorative,
Experiment.
like experimenting. Yeah, you have to experiment and check. For example, now I'm doing this, and maybe I will figure it out. Maybe something else, like pose may be different because I don't like maybe how the shoes looks like in this pose or something else. For example, when I will add a part of the pants, um, like one of the pants, for example, maybe I will see, okay, there's this silhouette doesn't work, right? So I have to change it somehow or something else. And it could change, for example, the whole entire arc of the several frames.
Mhm.
So the most, I mean, main thing that I want to see from you guys is like timing, spacing, rhythm, right? And at least one drawing in model just to see, just to check if you, yeah, like to understand what the character you took. I want to actually make him look back a little bit to see the explosion.
Comprehend the dangers,
Yeah,
the urgency.
like holy carrots, that was close. And maybe he had something here, like a bike, maybe, and it get destroyed. That's why he gets he looked back at the bike. It's just like, oh no, not my bike, not again. Something like that.
I just bought it.
Exactly. Like, what am I gonna say to my mom? Die. I hope you understand the process, guys. I
Mhm.
mean, and
Well, I
girls.
do. I hopefully the chat does as well.
Yeah, for example, here, it's gonna be something like already in anger, some small Kratos comes here.
Mhm. Loopy Arts is saying, give him a cool motorcycle. Yeah, it would be even more expensive. It would be blow if it blew up. Definitely then reasonably angry. Have you seen how people react when their motorcycle falls on the ground when it's standing stationary? Yeah, imagine blowing it up
Wow.
with with little parts flying over through the smoke. Oh, he's angry.
Do even like some veins. Now it's fine. Let me draw some bike. It's actually a cool idea.
Drawing the bike remind me of a little thing I used to do with my friends. Everyone knows how like a bike works, what it looks like. You know, they can identify a bike when they see one. But then I would go to them and ask them, "Can you draw me a bike? Like what it looks like? How does it work?" And the results were fascinating. Like some parts were missing. Sometimes it would be just connected in very weird places. And even though it just comes back to the topic of references and stuff and looking up some information so you would know, you have some guesses on what you're doing, that without a particular reference, we think we know how something works, but in reality, truth can be a lot more complicated. Though Edward is drawing
I
a
mean,
bike absolutely perfectly.
bike's actually quite difficult
Yeah, they have a
to.
lot of these hidden things that are very important.
I mean, it's quite, it's quite a piece of engineering actually,
Well, yeah.
especially in the modern ones.
hmm
So
I'm so grateful we don't have to ride those bikes that have a huge wheel in the front because they look absolutely deadly to fall from.
I'm not sure actually how this works, but Okay,
See, I'm
with a
right.
back wheel. Okay,
Well, I
okay,
mean, I think
with
you're
a back.
close.
I fail. I fail. Yeah, there is something here. I don't remember. I think it's some. I'm not sure about this. About this. Let's think. He will hide by his body.
Eh, it's gonna be exploded before people are
Exactly.
gonna look at
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
But I mean, proves my point about references, how important they are. We think we know how something works, but then when we're challenged with, trying to explain it or draw it in detail, we might stumble. And it comes to everything. It's not specifically bikes. It could be, any topic. And it's not even about drawing.
Okay, it should be actually higher.
Actually, well, we still have a little bit more time left. I think we have about maybe 6 minutes, more or less,
Yeah.
before we cross the 2 hour mark. It comes from Musty Milkshake. The question is, do you have any tips on how to animate faster, or does that come naturally over time?
Yeah, it comes from the time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. You cannot jump over some, some things. You cannot be faster if you're not confident, if you don't know what you're doing, right? And to know what you're doing, it's just basically time, uh, practice and so on. For example, what I'm doing here, look, it's take me like 1 hour and a half, right? But it's still
Mm-hmm.
way from being finished, right? Super far. But still, to make, if for example, this shot, it's because I'm just being, always just I give feedback to my students, and I am a, how to say, I'm an animator who keep improving my skills. So basically, it's only that I think like 5 years ago. I couldn't do maybe that fast, or maybe with this, I mean, speaking, right? And drawing, it's very difficult as well. So I'm not sure if I would be able to do something in the same time. So yeah, basically it's with time, with practice only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it works. Hope you guys understand now how how the how this assignment, like the dynamic shot, works. It can be improved a lot also with this movement when the arms become like in fire, and this could also be more precise. It can take more time, for example, here, because like why it starts to be in fire, right? It's quite interesting. Basically, he has some kind of angry powers, right? So basically, maybe when you can make it even longer, and maybe, for example, make how some particles start to
Ooh.
spin around him, right, around his arm, and make it a ball of fire or
Mhm.
something. And in the same time, he's doing like slow motion movement, right? So you basically will add more drawings and this kind of overlaps, and yeah, basically this. So I'm not sure if it's visible when it's small on your screen. Hope it does.
Pretty
All right.
much.
Yeah. And let me check. Basically, you can. I'm not sure if you saw, but I was checking all the time if I'm doing it in right position, in right scale. For example, when our character, like I told you guys before, this is our scale, right? For the full body basically standing, right? But him, he is just like in some weird pose, right? So what to do here in this case? You have to check the proportions. That's why, for example, you're putting the character right here. I mean, look, he is staying right here. So you're putting proportions to this pose, like here, and now I'm checking, is his body, I mean his head is with the same size. If his body with the same size, if his shoes with the same size, so you see, even if he is in a weird pose, his proportions will be exactly as he would be just standing straight, right? So check. That's why I'm asking my students to always put the poses on standing straight and on every key, just to see not only the sizes but also proportions, even if the pose is different. This is so important because you might lose it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, basically that's it. Do we have questions?
I think we've answered all of the questions along the way. So I think since we have just a couple of minutes left, we can slowly come to a close. If there will be any more questions about the stream in itself, about animation, about this assignment in particular, before we go to part 2, you can always go either into the comments under this video, or you can jump into the Discord channel and just ask them in general. I would be happy to help you and to maybe elaborate on some of the stuff. And of course, the rules for the challenge, because next time when we're going to meet, it's going to be all about your works and your submissions, and you will be basically eligible to get some feedback from Edward as well on your animation. So let me say a couple of words before we leave. Sadly, every good thing has to end eventually, and this live demo is sadly also slowly coming to an end. But hopefully you had as much fun and it was just insightful for you as it was for me. Thankfully, I have to actively listen to all of it, so I'm actually retaining a lot of very useful information. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you, Edward, for showing us this animation, sharing your expertise and insights, and also giving us this live view of how this animation progresses. Even if, you know, it's in the first rough stage, I still think it's very, very important. Thank you, chat, for being so sweet. I saw a couple of very sweet interactions in the chat I didn't get to read out loud, but thank you for being here today, for spending time with us, and also being so attentive. And I hope that, you know, the workshop was very, very useful for you, whether, you know, as well, if you're watching this live or in a recording later. You can also leave the comments for any questions or compliments if you want to leave them right there below the video. And of course, let me remind you that if you want to study animation, whether to perfect an existing craft you already have or to start learning something new and maybe make your first step in your journey in animation, our doors are always open. Why wait till February 2025 when you can sign up now and become our future student? So without further ado, this was Kata, your lovely favorite and only host of Animation Club School. This was your technical specialist, Vitaly, and see you in class, or see you next time on part 2 in 2025. See you.
Yes. Bye-bye, guys.
Hello everyone, this is Animation School. My name is Edward Kurchevsky and I'm professional 2D animator based in Paris.
Bobby, would you care for a piece of pie?
I studied animation over 10 years in one of the top schools in the world, and now I'm ready to share my knowledge with you. In the past 4 years of teaching, my students achieved remarkable results and working in studios like Cartoon Saloon, Skiald, studying in schools like Gobelin l'École de l'Image and CalArts.
I'm not sure what we've got here, Charlie. But if we've got what I think we've got something.
Our goal is to prepare qualified professionals in a short amount of time during our intense course. We are here to also create a bridge between you and studios and help you find your first professional position in industry. Online studying became one of the most important parts in worldwide education system, and I am pretty sure with us you will achieve great results. Good luck!
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
We came here to play basketball just like you guys.
You know what I'm thinking? 'Cause I have a guess.
Oh, a bunny. You know, the last known case of a bunny attack was, well, never.
What kind of stupid questions that? Still a D. What else am I going to be, an aardvark?